Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. I have a little computer here. I got this at the flea market at the weekend. This is a little ITX PC, Core i5, 7th generation. It has no hard drive. I have the motherboard. There's no RAM, but there is a processor. This is an i5-7400. And the reason I bought this is because I want to upgrade the recording system on the channel once again. I'm basically changing over from USB to HDMI, although I'm using HDMI to USB capture. So I have a 4-input capture unit coming, which will do various picture-in-picture options, which I can do in OBS, which I use to record now, but I think we'll do it better. And I want to connect all my cameras into that. So the one that's over the bench, the one on the microscope, the Andon Star, which is also mounted above the bench, and my thermal cameras. So I have 2 thermal cameras. One is the macro ones, one is the more normal. And I want to connect those. Now they have USB-C output, and I need to connect them into the HDMI splitter basically. So I'm going to use the software which you can load onto Windows. I want to connect both of the thermal cameras to that, and for that of course I need a little PC. And due to the space on the desk, this is ideal, so I'm going to use this. The question is, does this work? Yeah, and if it doesn't, can we fix it? I paid €25 for this. I think if the CPU or the motherboard is good, that is absolutely fine. I've had a look. I can buy used ITX H110 boards to fit in here for €30. So the worst case, I've paid 25 for the case, assuming the power supply is working, and for the processor. Well, maybe it's working. Just to show you what I'm actually doing, so you know what's happening on the channel, I'll just go over to the other camera. So mounted above my bench, as well as the overhead lighting, this is my microphone system. The middle one is actually the omnidirectional mic. And you see the 2 cameras up here. So one of them is actually an Andon Star mounted upside down, and the other one in the middle there, this is a C-mount camera with a manual focus, manual zoom, 5 to 50mm, and that's what I'm using as the overhead bench camera basically. I also have my microscope, the optical one here, which has another camera on. That is at both HDMI and USB output. The Andon Star is also HDMI. I will have the HDMI output from this little computer from the thermal cameras if I can get it to work. That is my face cam. Actually, that's the one that's looking at me. I'm actually changing that one to a Logitech Brio HD. I have it already here. Just need to fit it basically. And then I want to upgrade the overhead camera. So I'm actually going to use this one. You can see it here. It's quite a big one. It's a Sony. And this is actually going to go above the bench to replace that small one, the ELP camera. Just to show you the output I'm getting from the Sony, and again this is HDMI, I'll just click over to it, you can have a quick look. So this is the Sony camera, you just see across the bench there, this has the manual zoom on, and autofocus. So if I just stop there, you see it focuses okay. I have a lot of zoom on it, so this is very handy actually. Okay. So this is basically the next upgrade to the recording system I have, and I will just thank again all the patrons who are supporting the channel, because it's you guys who are allowing me to buy this equipment to do this. But the first question is, guys, does this work? And if not, can I fix it? Okay, so we can check for short circuits on the 12 volts. That's the first thing I would do. That way you can see it. There you go. Okay, meter's working, let's check it. Yeah, that's fine, it's just climbing upwards. Capacitor's charging up. So that's okay. The next question is whether there's a problem with the power supply. So I'm actually going to connect this to my current limiter. I don't want the power to trip out, for example, while I'm recording. So I'll put the camera where you can see the light bulb, and then let's plug this in and see what it does. It will take about a month, by the way, for all the equipment I require to set the new recording system up. I need some mounting brackets for the camera, as I say, the 4-input HDMI capture unit, that's the main things, and get a sort of PC working or sort something else out. Okay, so we're on current limit, and the light bulb is on dim. Okay, it's just on dim. There. So we know this is safe to power up. I've switched the current limiter off. I just need to put a cooling fan on. This is just one I can just balance on top for now. I'll put a little bit more heatsink compound on this. Okay. There's no RAM, so if anything, this is just going to bleep. If there's a bleeper built into this, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Power on, switch on. Well, the fan spins and then slows down like it's got control of it. But there's no bleeps. Will it switch off with a button? Yeah, it switches off by holding the power button, so that's another good sign. That pretty much tells me that the SIO and the PCH are probably working. Let's put a bit of RAM in. This is DDR4, so I'll just put one strip in first. I'm not sure if this actually has a bleeper, so I will connect the monitor. Okay, we're ready to try it again. Yeah, powers up then slows down, that's good. But there's no picture coming out of it, and that isn't good. Okay. Again, yes, it will shut down. Try the strip of RAM in the other slot. Once more. You can probably hear that come up and then slow down on the fan. So the next thing it should do is bleep, you would assume. We'll give a picture. But nothing. Okay, so I seem to have actually found something faulty at the flea market. That makes a change. The last half a dozen PCs I had actually were just working. I think we'll take this motherboard out of here. We can try it on a known good power supply, and let's see if we can get any further with this. Well, actually, just before I do that, I was just going to take it apart, and I noticed there's a speaker connector down here. So let's connect our little speaker on it. Well, let's just try that again. Well, it definitely doesn't bleep. I'll take the RAM back out. Okay, no RAM. Ah. So there are some signs of life. Let's put 2 strips of RAM in it. Okay. and nothing happens. That's not looking so good, because normally with a motherboard, if you're going to be able to fix it, it's probably a power problem, VRM problem, something like that. When you get this sort of thing, it's like it's getting further into the boot sequence but hanging up. Let's take the motherboard out and see if we can get any more joy out of this one. Okay, here's the motherboard. First thing I will just try is clear CMOS. I could just about see that when it was still in the case. And then let's connect it to a known good power supply and see if it works. What I expect, because of what it's doing, is that won't really make any difference with this. I've moved the clear CMOS jumper back again, so let's try it. Well, the same as before, that's what I expected really, no bleeps. No picture. Switch it off. Take this RAM back out and I'm guessing it's going to bleep again. Okay. Yeah. So what's happening with this? Basically, part way through the boot sequence, it's hanging up. It could be a corrupted BIOS, but I kind of doubt that, because normally if a BIOS is corrupted, there's like a checksum in there that effectively detects it's corrupted, so it doesn't even boot. But you know, stranger things have happened, especially I've seen it on Gigabyte boards, so we can try it. The BIOS is actually in a plug-in chip, so that makes life very easy. I'll check the CMOS battery, but I don't think that would actually stop this from powering on. What do we have? So it'll plug-in one on this. It's flat. I don't have one of these, but actually I'm sure I could just solder some wires on one. The little battery welder is at Carlos at the moment, so I don't have it here. Okay, yeah, so they're kind of like welded on, but I'm actually going to solder some wires. I'm going to use this little plug because I don't have one. In fact, it'd be handy actually to have one of these for testing with. I'll see if I can get my hands on one. See if these strips actually come off. I'm sure they'll come off enough to solder them onto another one. And really with this sort of thing, okay, I don't think this is the problem, but you may as well eliminate things, the easy things first, yeah? Eliminate the easy stuff first. In fact, I'll try it without the battery. Okay, bleeping. Put some RAM back in, of course. Heatsink. Much the same, no bleeps, no anything. Okay, let's continue down the route of trying the easy stuff first. I've actually gone with a plan B, which was to take a CMOS battery holder from a scrap motherboard and then solder the wire on from the flat battery. So we have that there. This battery is a good one. Let's see. Okay. Does it make any difference? Well, in fact, it doesn't make any difference. I didn't really think it would, but you need to eliminate these things first, guys. Do the easy things first, even if you doubt it's going to make any difference. Okay, so next easy one is to try another CPU. And while we're at this, let's check the CPU socket. Okay, looks pretty good superficially. Let's zoom in a little bit and have a good look at it. I don't see any bent pins. Oh, that looks okay. no obvious damage. Then it's another CPU next. Here's a known good one, in fact it's the same type, i57400. Okay. Try that. A bit more heatsink compound, I think that's actually the last of this tube. Find another one. Better. Let's give this a go. No difference. I'll just try that one without the RAM just to see if it still bleeps, although it is a known good CPU, so it should do. Yep. Next thing then probably is the BIOS, especially because it's plugged in, so that's easy to do. I have the ROM chip in my EEPROM program. It's a 25Q64. That's the one WinBond. So mine is just a normal IC. Actually, more specifically, it's this one, 25Q64FV. So we'll select that one and let's see if we can read it. Okay, and it's reading, it identified it correctly, that's good. Once I've read the contents, I'm going to save this onto my hard drive as the original. I've downloaded the latest version from the Asrock website, so I'll use that to program the chip, and then let's see if it makes any difference. Okay. This is the new one. I'm going to put it in here, so this one we can call it original. What Ridge will do. And then we can open the new one, which is the one that I downloaded, which is that one. Okay. Okay. And there we have it. Now let's program the chip. Program. Again, it's identified it correctly. It's now erasing and then it will program. And finally, it is verifying the contents that it wrote to the EEPROM. Okay, and that programmed and verified successfully. Now let's see if this fixes the problem with our motherboard or not. Okay, power on. It has control of the fan. It doesn't bleep, so it looks like this made no difference. And to be sure, we can try it again without. Ah, it did make a difference. It just didn't bleep. My screen's just come on. Okay. So it's asking to go into the BIOS. There we are. I'll just move myself, okay. So I think we will just save the settings on this. Default settings then. Save changes and exit. Okay guys, so this one's working. Yeah, that's a result. So you can see what I'm going to do with this. You know what's happening now with the channel. So some big upgrades coming along. I'm very pleased to see this one working actually, and I hope you are too. So we learned a little bit of something there maybe. Test the easy things first, even if you're not totally convinced it will make any difference. And you never know, sometimes you just get lucky, yeah? Okay, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all soon on another Learning Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.